Hi everyone, Ricky here from Tech Talk. Thanks very much for joining us. Today I want to bring my comparison video for the iPhone 6s Plus and the Vodafone Platinum 7. So this is their new phone in their Smart Series 7. So I had the Ultra as well. But I want to bring a comparison with these two devices as they're closest in price wise and specs as well. And maybe the Platinum might be pushing a little bit ahead of the iPhone. So the Platinum starts at £300, where the iPhone starts at £599. So it's really expensive and quite a difference, but you are going to be shocked with the specs. So first of all, the iPhone was released in September of last year, so 2015, and the Platinum 7 was released this year of June. So it's really good. This brand new device, and massive thank you to Vodafone for sending me this. So what I want to talk about now is just about the phones, and then we can do a comparison, we can do a boot test, and then we're going to do a speed test as well, and my personal thoughts on these two devices. So first of all, the Platinum 7 weighs 155 grams, where my iPhone weighs 192, so there's quite a difference there. So in size as well, the iPhone is 7.3 millimeters thick, where the Platinum 7 only comes in at 7 millimeters thick, so it's actually thinner, so which is nice to see. So while they're on their sides here, let's just go through the comparisons and what you get. So on the iPhone, all you're going to see on this side is my sleep wake button, a SIM tray. On the Platinum, you're going to get your power sleep wake button and your volume rockers, but they're in a different texture there, which is nice. See very thin bezels around the device. So going down to the bottom, we're going to find our Lightning port for the iPhone 6s Plus. You're going to find a quick charge port 3 for the Platinum 7. You're going to find a little microphone on both. And on my iPhone, you're going to find a 3.5 jack. Also on the Vodafone, you've got some antenna bars there, but they are really coloured in the same colour and look very nice and neat and make it hardly visible. On the iPhone, also, you're going to see my speaker grill. So I'm going to talk about speakers a little bit more in more detail. So turning around to the other side, you're going to find a dedicated camera button. You're going to find my volume rockers and my silent switch or vibrate switch. So turning around to the top here, you're going to find your 3.5 jack, some more antenna bars, a little mic, and then on the iPhone there's nothing. So looking at the reverse here, we can see our camera lens. You've got a dual tone flash, our camera lens, and a dual tone flash. You've got the Apple logo here. Down here at the bottom, you have got a Vodafone logo, but it's very slight and doesn't really protrude much out, so you wouldn't know what company it actually comes from. So the cameras on these devices are a little bit different. So first of all, starting with the iPhone 6s Plus, we've got a 12 megapixel rear-facing camera, a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, and 4K recording on the back here. On the Platinum, it's slightly different. It's a 16 megapixel camera on the rear, an 8 megapixel camera on the front there for your selfies, and also 4K recording is available, which is absolutely great. Remember, this phone is only £300, so there is a real difference there. So you might see this just underneath the camera on the Platinum 7. This is a dedicated fingerprint sensor. So next, let's test out the fingerprint sensors for both of these devices. So both devices are locked. I've set a fingerprint up to both. So unlocking the devices in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So unlocking our devices in 3, 2, 1. So unlocking our devices here in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it's a little bit hard to test this because it's on the back here. It's kind of fiddly, you don't know where you're actually pressing. So once you've got used to it, you'll get it all the time. And of course, you can actually unlock it from a black screen, where on my iPhone, if I just lock my iPhone, you actually have to press the button in first, but it is kind of a quick action there. But it's nice that both of these models do have fingerprint sensors for security. So talking about security, on the Platinum 7 as well, you do have a PIN pattern or password. On the iPhone, you only have a PIN or a password. A pattern would be great as well, I think. So both of these devices are running their latest software on both of them. So the iPhone is running iOS 9.3.3. The Platinum 7 is running Android 6.0.1, and of course most probably we'll get that new Android N push later next year or late this year, and that's called Nugget now. So next, moving on to storage for these devices, the Platinum 7 comes in a 32GB model and has a micro SD card, so you can actually increase that. The iPhone comes in a locked 16, 64 or 128GB, but no SD card, so keep that in mind when choosing your device. Of course though, when you choose the 64 or the 128GB device, you're going to have to pay a lot more in money. So next I want to move on and talk about the displays. The display on the Platinum 7 is stunning. From a registered blind person's point of view, the brightness is absolutely great. Videos look absolutely stunning. I've actually checked out some 4K footage on both of these, and the Platinum 7 beats my iPhone straight away, and this is all because of the panels they use. So the Platinum 7 is actually using an AMOLED panel, where the iPhone is just using a basic LCD panel. So let's talk about the specs of the panels. So both of them are a 5.5 inch display, and the bezels are actually smaller on the Vodafone Platinum 7. The resolutions on the iPhone 6 Plus is 1080 by 1920 with a pixel rating of 401. Moving on to the Platinum 7, you've got a resolution of 1440 by 2560 and a PPI of 534, which is 133 more pixels per inch you're going to get on your device. So this might not seem a lot, but it is. Apple really lacking behind, but that is due to change next year with them moving into the AMOLED panels for their new iPhone 7 or iPhone 8. We're not too sure yet what it's going to be called. Next, let's move on to RAM. So RAM is a little bit different between these two models. There's a gig difference, and it goes to the Vodafone Platinum 7 where it has 3 gig of RAM, where my iPhone only has 2, which is a shame really, considering how much you pay for an iPhone. These phones are outbeating them, which is really good. Moving on to battery. So battery is key again for your usage. Me personally, I'm a heavy user. I use my phone every day, all day, checking stuff. I have Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all the different comments coming through. So testing both of these out, I know how well my phone does, but testing the Platinum 7, I had a good day and a half to 2 days usage out of this. So the battery wise, the iPhone has 2750 milliamp hour battery. The Platinum 7 comes in with 3000 milliamp hour battery, which is absolutely stunning. Remember that price point of only £300, it is really good. So talking about power and performance, let's move on to the actual processors. So one has an octa-core, one has a dual core. You know, and you've guessed right, the Platinum 7 has an octa-core processor, so it's running 4 cores at 1.8 GHz and 4 at 1.2 GHz. The iPhone is a dual core running at 1.8 GHz, and that's an A9 chip, and it's a Twister Apple chip, so it makes it a little bit better, I suppose. But no, power and performance comes through with the Vodafone Platinum 7 here. It is an absolute stunning device. They've really moved on from their Prime Ultra 6 and the Prime series from last year, and it is absolutely well done to them. I've enjoyed reviewing this phone, really interested in moving to Android, and if I did, it would be this device. Me personally, I think it's absolutely stunning for its price point. Like I said, there's a good £300 difference between these two phones because mine is a 64GB model, and just what you get is so much better. It's purely because of how easy I find iOS. That's the only reason I stay with Apple. So enough about that. Let's do some speed tests as well for these phones. So first of all, I want to just do a good old-fashioned boot test. So there's no applications running. Let's get them both set up to turn off, and then we'll turn them back on. So the iPhone is done a little bit different here. So slide this along, and 3, 2, 1. So let's boot both these back up. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that did surprise me, seeing that the iPhone did win. I wasn't expecting the Vodafone Platinum 7 to actually beat it. But I know that's just a boot up test, but I like seeing the comparisons. That's what got me into YouTube when I first started watching YouTube. Everyone was doing a boot test against something. So that's why I still bring them into my videos. So we'll do a little app launch here. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, again, we can see them specs here that I've discussed and talked about. We can start the test. 3, 2, 1. It's going to zoom in to show you a difference here. So my iPhone on a single core score scored 2,535. On the Vodafone Platinum 7, it scored 1,510. But if we move to the multi-core score, my iPhone scored 4,440, where the Platinum 7 was well in the lead by over 400 points. It's 4,879. So such a difference there. Again, remember there's £300 in the actual difference of cost. So bear that in mind when you come in to choose your device. The next test I want to run is speedtest.net. So the Vodafone Platinum 7, of course, is on the Vodafone network. My iPhone is on the 3G network, both getting 4G, but the Platinum 7 is running Vodafone's new 4G network plus. So we'll check that out and see how it does. So loading the applications. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, so beginning test, 3, 2, 1. Just having a look at our test results here. On my iPhone, you can see we've got 47 megabytes down, 30 megabytes up. On the Platinum 7, we got 37 megabytes down and 6 megabytes up. So very good there, very close to C. Luckily, I do live in a 4G area, but you can see 3 is slightly ahead here. But this could change wherever you are. With the network being stronger, you might get better results. With the new Vodafone 4G Plus, you can reach speeds up to 300 megabits per second, and that'd be absolutely stunning. I'd love to fly around the internet that quick. I don't know what I'd do with that speeds, but you could do. So moving on to another app launch test, let's just try launching the cameras here and see how quick each device is. So launching the cameras in 3, 2, 1. Okay, very quick there. Go back home. Let's launch the Google Play Store and the iTunes Store and see which ones win. So 3, 2, 1. I think Google Play Store was slightly ahead there. So it's really nice to see. So I had the Platinum 7 now for just over 2 weeks. I think it is such a stunning device. Like I said, if I could get used to Android, the notifications and some of the other issues that I did have, I would move to this phone. So this phone is really jumping leagues ahead. Remember that cost, that is quite a considerable reduction from the Samsung Galaxy S7 now, which is £550. You got the iPhone coming in at £600. It's such a difference. The OnePlus 2 and the OnePlus 3 I know are in the same sort of price brackets or slightly higher, but this is really competing with that device. So I'd like to do a test as well with the past Prime 6 Ultra with the 7 Ultra that I have as well. So I didn't do a test with the iPhone and the Ultra 7 because there is such a difference in cost. This means the specs are going to be quite different. So on this last note, I just want to talk about the speakers as well because there is a considerable difference here. So with the Vodafone Platinum 7, you've got 2 front-facing stereo speakers. So if I just bring this up, tilt it here, here is one, and here is another. So this reminds me of Boom Sound. Now they sound absolutely fantastic. Please go and check out our sound test as well that I did on this device, and you'll be able to see what I'm on about. But the iPhone one is just downward facing here, and it does sound okay. It sounds really good compared to some models, but compared to this one, there is a key difference. So go and check that out. Let me know what you think. Thanks always for watching. Please give a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.